Good morning. Welcome to another video. Imani here. I have a super interesting topic today. Let me open up my ResearchGate app. I don't have access to the full text yet, but this is very important. I know I didn't post yesterday, but that's because I was confronted with this political issue and I was like, oh, that's important. So we are going to be discussing the political framework and issue of immigration and why it is a political issue. The issue is that it is political. So hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Imani Davis. I am a master's student at Liberty University and Harvard University. I study public policy, government, business, analyst, and health. That was a mouthful. Now I make YouTube videos, but I do a lot of independent research and do a lot of independent policy analysis. So if you go to my ResearchGate, you will find me there. I'm trying to find, seems like my app isn't loading actually. Or I don't know how to use it. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple of abstracts and then we're gonna discuss it. Sorry. This tea is so good. I don't know if you guys like this angle. I'm trying to make it like more formidable for the YouTube people, because I know people like videos like this, so I'm trying to do it like that. So hopefully that works. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. So abstract 1, the chapter is called How Whiteness Structures Restrictive Immigration Attitudes. Immigration has been at the heart of U.S. politics for centuries. This book examines the inherent moral, value-based nature of white Americans' immigration attitudes. The book tests a theory about the centrality. Ah, it's Paris Hilton. Let me put on a different playlist. Hold on. Paris Hilton came up. Let's put on some worship R&B. I like this playlist actually. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace. Let's see if that will play while it's in the background. Yes. Okay, so we put on some Christian R&B. I love Christian R&B. Okay, so the book tests a theory about the central attitude of morality with a series of empirical models that take advantage of public opinion, survey data, as well as the roll call votes of elected officials. Ultimately, the book argues that white Americans' immigration attitudes are at bottom moral choices. Ooh. The moral choices that whiteness affords, that not all racial groups have, is the choice to continue to produce and reproduce a system structured on white supremacy or to repudiate it. So, like, update it, moralize it, I guess. I'll have to look and see what that word means. And what role does white socialization play in the moral choices whites make about immigration? The notable contribution of this book to the field of immigration is that it uniquely argues that not only does whiteness structure immigration, but the immigration attitudes are inherently moral choices. Choices that are learned through the socialization of group norms and continually dictated by partisanship. Why can I not speak today? This is gonna be a really good book if I can get my hands on it. You have to request it, so hopefully they'll allow me to have the book. If they don't, I'll be very sad. And this cup is made for left-handed people. Which is fine. Though the socialization of group norms are continually dictated by bodies, or maybe it's for right-handed people that need to use their right hand. White identification, and whiteness undergird those moral narratives in varying ways. The immigration choices made by whites move toward either reproducing whiteness or repudiating it within the continuum of white supremacy. In this current climate, as immigration continues to be weaponized to divide, it is important to understand the roots of immigration attitudes in the United States. So, the reason why we are even getting on this topic of immigration and immigration policy law is because here in Florida, the governor has just passed a bill that is limiting immigration, incoming immigration in Florida, and pushing for more harsher regulation on immigrants that are currently in Florida. So for example, now there is, for example, if you go to a health facility and get health care, they will ask you your status, and there is no way to decline to answer. And that is a place where federally, I would implement policies that health work has to be synonymous, that's the word I'm looking for, synonymous to everyone, based on, it's not based on racial code, but because of the freedoms that we have been granted in this country, everyone is allowed to good, affordable health care, no matter if they can pay for it or not. So anybody from any country, if they're in a medical emergency or not, they can come to our country, usually if they're in a medical emergency. But if they live here and they need to see a doctor, they should be able to see a doctor without any policies or laws getting in the way of that will hinder their lives outside of the practice of medicine. So they should not be answering questions like that at all for any reason. But I want to talk about, these commercials. Someone's got to get their bread. And of course, I would love to get the Christian R&B artists their moolah. So, honestly, I think also it really is valuable to understand that everyone can immigrate to America, and immigration policies are only focused on immigrants of color in certain subdivisions and areas because it is associated with crime. So you commit a crime, or you commit the crime of being impoverished, so you sign up for government benefits. You then have to be regulated. You can be regulated through immigration laws. But if you are white and you speak English, or you're white, you have, one, a higher chance of getting a job. Two, if you do sign up for government benefits and you say you're white and you say that you're an immigrant, you're not likely to be processed as heavily as someone, say, if they were Asian or Hispanic or Black. Especially if you're Hispanic and Black. So I think because it is so racially and is based on racial objectives. Sorry, I'm very tired today. I think it's very important that we understand that this is a problem for our governor in Florida to this month start enacting heavier policies that limit immigration and try to push people out, Because if we do not have an international hubble, if we do not have a community where anyone can come and live and choose the life that they want and have opportunity, if there is not going to truly be a slither of a chance of opportunity, not even the hope of an opportunity, for maybe if I don't have the opportunity, but my kids will, and their kids will have an opportunity. And usually in America, unfortunately, sometimes that's how it works. That once you get past 3 generations, yeah, that is the generation that will have, that will you will see that as a grandparent, like, oh, this is the generation that I was hope that lived the life that I hoped for myself, and I hope for my kids, and I hope for them. Some people, they can do it quick, in a quick bite, they do it, but that's hard. But if you do it and you want to do it in the framework of white supremacy, it takes generations, and it takes, everyone has to work, and everyone has to work together. And speaking from someone who does not have the privilege, all those privileges all the time, and the discord that can be sown by just not having the opportunity to truly be supported by those around you, it's a framework of white supremacy that only fits for white people. And if we're gonna live in the imperial core of America, and we're gonna look at other countries like, wow, I could never even fathom living like that, because in America I live so great. What are these hidden devils in the corners of the room that truthfully say, but you don't, but you don't, because they might not have this and that. And there's some countries who do not have this or that, and they need major help and major reconstruction. But what is that? Because of white supremacy. And then moving forward, I want to talk about, and then I'm going to let you guys go because they're at 12 minutes. I'm going to give myself 2 more minutes. I really want to talk about the framework of why countries are so impoverished, and we just say, oh, it's just their capital corruption. No, it's our capital corruption. It's our capital corruption and our choices to not support these communities. These are human beings. These are young people. These are minds created in the image of God, just like you and I. And if we don't help these extremely famished, impoverished communities, we will never know true success in humanity. And I'm speaking that on my part as a Black person and living in the imperial core. Having an apartment with AC and beautiful lights and working sanitization and food and 2 phones and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and community, true progress community. And then the true realization, which just puts this fire in my heart and in my soul, that like, so many people don't live like this. So many people don't have access to health care, and they deserve to look at me and do that and laugh, because for my mental stability to be completely engulfed in this and standard of this, for me, as someone who's grown up in America, grown up with privilege, plenty of privilege that people have to go to extremes to get, and are willing to, for me to allow my, I don't want to say that I'm not allowed to experience mental health issues. I'm glad that I went through them, but the reason being is, I'm not gonna let anyone make me feel bad. And that's that type of thing that I think those people who grow up in countries that are filled with corruption because of my country and because of other Western countries, Do not let anyone make you feel bad because of what you have to go through, how you have to live, and how you have to overcome. But yeah, so when I get those full text audios, those full text things, we'll talk about more immigration policies later. Bye guys.